Mario over here. Right in the back. Big fight week for you, but obviously not the opponent you initially signed up for. Find out Saturday that Cody Garbrandt is injured and out of the fight. When did you find out Cody wasn't going to be able to compete, and how did you react to it, knowing Cody's name, being a former world champ, and that opportunity was gone for now?
Yeah, I found out, I think it was Saturday morning. Pretty bummed out at first, but I got to get over it quick, and put him in the rear view and focus on what was ahead. And, we were waiting for a new opponent, which I found out, I think it was Monday night before I took off, and that was about it. Same process, though, going to go out there and fight.
How important was it for you to stay on this card? You're preparing for this big fight with this big name, and you have to switch things up relatively quickly. Did it matter who it was? Just give me anybody at this point? Was that your mindset?
Pretty much. The only thing I wanted was to remain on the main card if possible, to keep the eyes on me. It was going to be a great fight with Cody, so that's all I was looking for. I just wanted to have some eyes on me and have a great opponent. And, Blackshear does have a little bit of shine from his past performance, so it worked out.
So this is going to be on the main card still?
I believe so, from what I've seen. So.
Okay. Is this fight with Cody something you hope to get back after this one, or do you feel like the ship has sailed on that idea if you get through Damon on Saturday?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Cody's in the rear view. A win over Blackshear, puts me in the top 15, and that's not where Cody's at, and I'm looking to move forward.
You're on a great run right now, 4 wins in a row. You're 6-1 in your last 7. You're quietly putting together one of the best resumes in this division, and you've sort of just been an under-the-radar guy, but are you ready to be out of the under-radar, go above the radar, sort of break through because of the success you've been having? Yeah,
especially after these past 3 performances, 3 first-round finishes. That's something hard to do in the UFC. So, definitely want to get some recognition and move up the ladder a little bit faster.
What do you think about Damon taking this fight on 7 days' notice, coming off of the twister? We've only seen 3 of those in the history of the UFC.
Yeah, as far as his performance, it was great. A twister, that's something very rare, but, he has to cut weight twice. We'll see how he deals with that, and I'm just, going to focus on myself and get the job done.
And last thing, Sean O'Malley, your longtime teammate over the lab, getting ready to fight for the Bantamweight title against Aljamain Sterling. Should Sean win, what do you think the division looks like moving forward as you're climbing the ranks, and do you feel like Sean's going to get it done, and if so, how?
Yeah, I could see Sean getting it done with, we all know he's great with his hands, knockout. I think he could surprise him with submission as well, so that's something to look at. And as far as the division, who knows, maybe Aljo moves up, maybe, depending on Cheeto, maybe that's a matchup for Sean. So we'll see, and Marab's there as well, so we'll see how things pan out.
Mario, over here to your right, kind of going off of that, as somebody that's known Sean for a while, before he was this superstar in the UFC, can you kind of peel back the curtain as to what he's like, maybe outside of the public eye, like what kind of teammate he is, and just being there to witness this rise? What's it been like for you?
I think behind the scenes, like what everyone doesn't see, he's actually, pretty humble, still a funny guy in the gym, but when it comes down to work and to do, what he needs to do as far as like rounds and training, he's a very hard worker, and he does what he's supposed to.
And I guess, can you just talk a little bit more about the training environment at the lab? Because obviously, it's not necessarily the worst problem to have that you're rising. He's on the verge of a title, so kind of an iron sharpens iron environment.
Yeah, especially the 35 crew there at the MMA lab. Kyler Phillips just won, Marcus McGee. I'm up next, Sean. So we got a group of 35ers there. So we all feed off each other, and we all make each other better.
Speaking of Damon's twister, how much is that something that you even consider? Like, is that such an anomaly that it's not something that you have to like prepare for in terms of like, maybe trying to figure out defense for it? Like, do you feel like that's not really something you have to worry about, or is that something, since you saw on Saturday, like you've been actively preparing for?
No, it's definitely something you gotta work on. And I've been like having a refresher on it, and it's something you gotta stop really early on, because if you're already deep in it, it's kind of hard to fight out of. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that, because I don't want to be number 4. So
Mario, over here to your left. Obviously, when Cody dropped out, I'm sure the UFC matchmakers were kind of rushing. Did they offer you any other names, or was Damon the first name that came along? And if they did offer you other names, why did you pick Damon?
Excuse me. Damon, I mean, obviously said something, I think later on that night after he won, said that he would take the fight. So we're waiting on different options, but from what I heard, Damon was the only one that was going to take it. So
Obviously, he's got to cut weight twice in a week. Is there any worry that he won't make weight? And if he doesn't make weight, like, is there a plan in place? Are you just going to accept it, or is there like a certain, if he's this far over, I'm not accepting it?
Well, if he's that far over, I mean, that'd be up to the commission. But if he doesn't make weight, I'm just taking 20%.
And my last question, obviously you're moving up the rankings and everything. What does a win over a guy like him do for someone who's kind of already more established than him? I
just continue to prove that, I belong in the top 15, and if I think I belong in the top 15, I should be able to beat this guy.
Good luck to you.
Mario, over here. So, how big a stylistic change up is it from Cody to Damon?
It's a pretty big one. Cody's a little bit faster on the feet. I think he'd move around a little bit more, and Blackshear will come forward a little bit taller. But I've had like pretty good experiences with taller fighters. Fighting Benito Lopez. I'm just looking back at that camp and the success I've had in that camp early on. So it was an easy adjustment for me.
And does that Cody fight still fit into your climb to the top? Is that a fight you still want?
Depending on Cody's injury or whatever happened, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to be waiting around for him. Like I said, I'm going to continue to move forward, and if it happens in the future, then it happens.
Mario, over here to your left. The process of switching opponents, you said you found out Monday night. What kind of toll does that take mentally, especially wanting to stay on a big card like this?
I was pretty bummed out about not having the fight with Cody. That's what I really wanted. I spent 6 hard weeks mentally preparing to fight Cody, a former champion. So, but like I said, I just got over it quickly and moved on, and that's what you got to do in this fight game.
With 3 straight submission first-round victories, what is your confidence level like, and what does a win on Saturday night do for your confidence going forward, mentioning the top 15 spot there?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Like I said, getting 3 first-round finishes is pretty hard to do. And once I get in there, I really trust myself and what I'm capable of, so it's going to be no different Saturday.
Thank you. Good luck.